Hey guys, hope everything's going well. I just wanted to check in and let you know um, a couple things as we end the semester. As you can tell, if you look at your homepage, we're pretty much doing the research paper. That's all that's due. Moving forward is the research paper and discussions regarding the research paper. So you can see today, by the end of the day, by 11:59 tonight, you should have posted your rough draft on the discussion board, and then by Thursday, comment to two other students. This is supposed to help you, obviously, as a writer, because people will comment on your essay. However, it will also help you um, by reading other people's work. So just posting yours is one thing, but reading others, thinking about how others are going about it, will definitely help you with the research paper. Have other people, if someone's arguing something that's conflicting with your point of view, that's really good. Think about how they make their argument. Bring up some of their sources and their ideas in your essay to show that you fully understand the topic. Think all the way back to week one when we read the Blanda essay um, about other sides, right? Um, and keep that in mind and think about the craft of research and how your research paper should not just be a list of reasons why you're right. You need to understand that the other side has opinions. You have to identify those opinions and research those opinions and understand those opinions. And you should be able to make the other side's argument for them. That's not to say you need to believe the other side, but the point is you should know that there is another side, at least one other side to your issue. So you should bring up those points. And that's why we have 7 to 10 pages for this research paper, is that you'll have time to kind of develop the opposing side. A way to think of it is maybe your essay, I don't know, should be 60 or 70%, maybe 70%, but maybe 70% of your opinion and what you believe, and support outside sources that support your opinion. And the other 30, maybe 35% of the opposition. I mean, that's a big hunk. That means you have to research the opposition. You have to make sure it's a legitimate opposition and not what rhetoricians would call a straw man. A straw man is just the idea that you hold up a weak opposition just to prove that it's wrong. That's not the best rhetorical device. What you'd like to do is find legitimate oppositions that are thoughtful, oppositions that people actually have, and that have that have in good faith, and address those things. And maybe you can say, hey, look, and concede points. This is a good idea. However, these other points that I'm making outweigh the opposition. But your research paper should be a balance. And it should be clear what your argument is, but it should also be clear that there is a smart opposition, and that you know that opposition and that you can counter that opposition. We're not making these arguments in a vacuum. We're not plugging our ears and closing our eyes and just shouting out reasons why we're correct. You can do that. Because, we all can do that in our own time, but not necessarily in academic writing. We don't want to do that. So we're going to have the rough draft discussion this week, and then I'd like you to make changes, and then we'll have a revised reflection due next week, and then we'll have the research paper due. This is important. It's a big assignment. If you need help, please email me. I'm happy to help. Many of you have been emailing me, and I hope that I'm helpful. I want to be helpful. Something to think about that I don't think I talked about last video is, I asked you to use the databases, right? So as we cite, we want to make sure we cite correctly. And I think we have talked about this, but I'm asking you to use the databases. So there are specific ways to cite the databases. You go to Purdue OWL, you go to MLA Guide, because we are using MLA. You want to click on Style Guide. It's an electronic source, all right? And so this is, I can tell by the publication and stuff like that, where you're getting your sources. Again, we need to use the databases, and then we need to cite it properly. So if you come over here, this is another way I can tell if you're using the databases. Whoops, did I pass it? Here it is. An article from an online database. You can see here, you will have the database in your online on your works cited page. Wiley Online Library, that's a database. All right. ProQuest, that's a database. So I'll be able to tell if you've gone through the databases, which again is a requirement for the research paper. It's a requirement for this class to deal with those databases. Last video, we talked about Googling things versus databases. And so I made that point. And now we just need to make sure we cite it correctly. And so just go to Purdue OWL, go to online, or go to electronic sources, go to an article from an online database. And this is how you do it. Just follow the directions there. It's kind of like paint by numbers. You can see it's the author, it's the title, it's the publication, the original publication, the volume number, the date of publication, the page range, the library database, and then they have something called the DOI. All right. So, and it says if the DOI, and it's some acronym, a way to find that article. If the DOI is not provided, use the URL instead. Provide the date of access if you wish. If you want to do that, you can do that. If you do it for one, do it for all of them. Just be consistent. What did I want to say about this? Yeah, I don't know. Use those databases. This is how you cite it correctly. Oh, and then when you cite it in your text, you don't put so this is the works cited page. This is how you do a works cited page, right? When you do in-text citation in your actual essay, you just like a normal person, you just put the author's name and the page number if you have a page number. And a lot of the PDFs on the databases do have page numbers. So you should have author's name and page number. In your actual essay, in your in-text citations, you should not have the database in there, but in your works cited page, you will have the database. I hope that helps. As always, email me with questions. I'm happy to help, and have a great day.